I'm gonna set your face on fire.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a
time. Welcome, everybody. You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast. I'm your host, Halsey Allen. Welcome all my narrators. Welcome everyone who may be new to the podcast and just picking this up on a random scroll. Welcome all newcomers. This is called the Narrative Podcast. It's called the Narrative Podcast for a reason, because on this platform, I change the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative Black stereotypes about Black people and Black culture. The reason why I feel I needed to create this platform was to combat the false narrative that the liberal media weaves about Black people and Black culture, depicting us in the most negative light possible. So I wanted to create a platform where I celebrate Black excellence and showcase and highlight our successes and play up stories showing us at our best and contributing to humanity rather than being drained on the resources as we're depicted. Now, the reason why they do this is for monetary gain and for social interest, because we are news, we are fascinating, we make the world go round. All industries need us to promote and sell their products. There's no other culture more exciting and more exhilarating than ours. And that's not cap. This isn't saying we are superior to anyone. This is just saying what we bring to the table. It's literally $1 billion industry to depict us in a certain light and make us seem and appear a certain way. It is also, in the best interest of rich socialites to generate and perpetuate that image that we are lazy, that we do not contribute to the human experience, that we have no real significance to us other than sports and entertainment. So it behooves them to, depict us in a negative light so the balance of power doesn't shift. Because it's all fun until the rabbit gets the gun. So that's why they enjoy depicting us in a certain light to, maintain the balance of power and do everything they can to deprive us of the resources, deprive us of the tangibles, and not acknowledge us as their equals. So I hope I've summed it up, what the Narrative Podcast is all about. And I'll jump right into it. But before I do, I just want to say I'm going to try something different. I really am, I believe in the power of words on my platform. And I'm going to try my best to rid myself of the word Black, because it is not a race. It is not a nationality. Black symbolizes death. So every time you say you're Black, I'm Black, we're giving cadence to death. And if you look at our culture as a whole, how we haven't really moved forward in the last 200 to 300 years. That's just here in America. So I'm gonna probably try to start saying original people. Or I like foundational American too. So I'll probably try to start saying foundational American or an original people. Because my tagline is destroying negative black stereotypes about black people and black culture. I think I'll try to replace that with original people or foundational. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try something new. Just a heads up. Alrighty then. So I have my podcast divided into segments for all my new people. For all my narrators, you already know the drill. I'm going to describe each section as I come to them for my new people, and the purpose and the significance of each section. Each section I have a speaking point, so I describe all that as I come to each one of them, rather than breaking down my whole entire format for time's sake, because I like to try to keep my podcast no longer than an hour. Sometimes I exceed an hour. Like if I do exceed an hour, I don't want to exceed it more than 20 minutes to a half hour, because if you go any longer than that, then it's a glorified rant. It's not a podcast. And I do not want to rant. I want my content to resonate, because I want the overall takeaway to anybody that listens to me is to share content. Because the content you post online in the era that we live in is your carbon footprint. So that's how you're judged about the content you post online. And this actually fuels some of these negative stereotypes floating around about us. So I'm going to put a pin in it right there and dive right on in. Coming to my first section, this is the promo section. In this section, I'm offering the olive branch to all original people that have an originally owned company, and if they need or would like some promotions for their original owned company. And again, I'm trying to replace the word black. I'm trying to stop saying the word black. If you would like promotion, it feels kind of weird because it's ingrained in me to say it. So I know if it feels weird to say, and I know it feels weird to listen to it, but we have got to break ourselves of that habit of saying black. I mean, it took forever for us to say African American, and we're not Africans. And we're damn sure and still not considered Americans. But anyway, so if for any original people companies, if you would like or need or would like some promotion for your business product or service, hit me up at passionwebmail at poeticpassion.host. And in the subject bar, type promo. In the body of the email, include information about your business product or service. Be specific as possible. Give me a brief bio about you, your background, your educational history, how you came into, acquiring the service, what interested you in starting the business of whatever you're in. And I will do my very best to plug it on my platform for you. And I'm not charging any money. I'm not even asking you to promote my podcast. I'm just doing this on the strength of reach one, teach one, to keep those original dollars circulating in the original community so we can have an original infrastructure. All right, so next section. My next section, see, this is going to sound super weird because it's already called something. It's like black is in the title. But anyway, I'm promoting a contest specifically for this podcast. And the reason I'm promoting it is to, get listener participation and also to reward all my people that listen to my podcast, get them to identify themselves so I can give them something for their continued support of my podcast. I've been doing this for about a year. The platform's growing. My listeners are growing. I want to connect with you. I still do not have a hotline, so I can't speak directly to you. So this contest will kind of help bridge the gap until I get the situation situated. All right. So the name of the contest is Shopping While Black. I would like anybody that chooses to participate in the contest to share their most recent Shopping While Black experience. And for doing so, I will reward you with a bulk supply of your favorite snack. The entry is free. I'm not charging any money. And to enter, all you have to do is hit me up at Passion Webmail at poeticpassion.hosts and share with me your Shopping While Black experience. Try to keep it no more than 5 to 6 paragraphs. I just want to know what happened. I do not want a novel, an Agatha Christie novel. Just, summarize it. Give me the highlights. Just a brief synopsis. Also include your mailing address so I know where to send your snack. And tell me the name of your snack, the type of snack you would like. And I will gladly send it to you. So thank you so much. And I hope you enter the contest. So my idea behind it is I'm hoping to find a Black-owned vendor that's, will supply me with your favorite snack. So it's like we'll both be supporting an original people business. You'll be supporting me, the podcaster, my podcast. I will be giving you something for supporting me. And then I will in turn be purchasing something from an original people business. So you see that circle of unity that I'm trying to create, that strength, that unity. Okay, I'm rambling now, but you get what I'm trying to say. So it's, once again, to enter the contest, it's the same email address for the business promotion, but how I'm separating the two is in the subject bar. So in the subject bar, to enter the contest, you type "chew on this contest" / Shopping While Black or SWB, which is ever more convenient for you. If you don't want to type out Shopping While Black, you can put SWB, and I know what you mean. And in the body of the email, your Shopping While Black experience, your mailing address, and what type of snack you want. Bada boom, bada bing. Very simple. All right. Now on to my very first segment of the podcast. This is the original people owned podcast. I'm replacing the word black with original owned business, original people owned business. And the reason why I have this section is to highlight and showcase entrepreneurialism and that we can do for self and we like doing for our community, that we are, not always in violence towards one another, and that we, have a sense of community. So that's how I'm destroying that negative original people stereotype of us, is by showcasing original people excellence. And the criteria that I usually use to select the businesses that I highlight is A, are they owned by an original person? Does the original person hire other original people? Do they do some type of philanthropy for the community they are rooted in? Like, as in, like, do they pay into a nonprofit? Do they have their own nonprofit? You know, have some sense of community. And the last qualifying factor, it has to align up with my theme, and my ongoing theme I have until the end of August is the season of summer. So all those characteristics is what I'm looking for to highlight the original people-owned business. And again, I'm trying something new. I'm trying to replace the word black with original. Just trying to speak truth into power, because black is not truly who we are. All right. So, in stride with my theme, you know, it's summertime. I would say arguably July is one of the hottest months of the summertime, depending on where you live. But like July it's a scorcher, and we're always looking for ways to cool off. Now, on my last segment, I did ice cream. This segment, my thinking is kind of similar. What else do we use? Type of food we use to cool off in the summertime. And I came up with shaved ice. So these next original people-owned businesses are businesses that specialize in shaved ice. Excuse the crinkling, I'm just getting my notes together. Righty. So first business up is Chill Out Shaved Ice. They advertise, they got a homepage, chilloutshavedIce.com. They also advertise on Facebook and Twitter and IG. They got a physical address, 402 11th Street, Huntsville, Texas, 77340. Next to Urenum, the business creator, his name is Jakira Lewis. I hope I'm saying her name right. I will spell it Jakira Lewis. So she started the business in the wake of the pandemic in the year, 2020. Originally, she made money on the side as a photographer. Her main job was a volunteer coordinator at a child advocacy center in Conroe. So she was looking for a way to give back to the community, and I guess, she came up with shaved ice. So shaved ice is kind of a refreshing treat. The only downside I would say about shaved ice is sugar. Most of the syrups are made with white sugar, but there are more and more now. As we're getting more health conscious, there's vegan options out there now for the shaved ice. They use like agave base instead of the traditional white sugar base. You just have to do your due diligence and find them. But yeah, for the most part, the sugar is bad, but it's refreshing. And it's not made of an animal product, so one won't kill you this summer. I'd like to do deep dives into the background, how they got started, their educational background to provide that positive frame of reference for anybody, wanting to start their own business, that need that motivational push. Because again, the powers that be, they manipulate, this video and audio, and that will really just attack your psyche and make you feel as though you cannot make it, as though you cannot win. And so, on my platform, I provide positive frames of reference, people that, beat the system, that beat the odds, and say, yes, I can make it. Yes, I can do this. So I just want to do a quick disclaimer. So when I share these original people-owned businesses, I'm never, ever coming from the space of it won't be hard. I'm never, ever coming from the space of it will work for you just because it worked for somebody else. It's like we all on a different path. Whatever path you take, whether, you're an entrepreneur or a 9-to-5er, it's no shade. It's all original people love. You know what I mean? The only way we're going to get through it is to stay united, not divided. So I don't ever want somebody to listen to my podcast and feel like, I'm defecating on them for working a 9-to-5 gig. And I try to watch my language as much as possible because I think adult language kind of takes away from my overall point. But, when situations call for it, if I got to get passionate about something to make my point, the potty mouth will fly, and I won't apologize for it. So this will be the only apology you will hear for the potty mouth. But I try to watch my mouth as much as possible. But yeah. So on to second original people-owned business. I think I'm starting to get used to saying it. It's going to take me a while. It's starting to seem more natural now. Okay, this business is called Huey's. Shaved ice, Huey shaved ice. It's HueyShavedIce.com is their email. And then their Gmail is, you can hit them up at HueyShavedIce@gmail.com. And it's an originally owned, family-owned business. They do tons of stuff for the community. They give back. They support the community. You can go to the website and read their about section, or you can email them and just, if you really, really want to know what they do for the community, I'm sure they'll oblige you in telling you, what type of functions and stuff they lend their services to. But they're definitely worth supporting. Go to YouTube. A newbie YouTuber, somebody just like with a travel channel, had did a food review about the Huey's Ice, their experience. It was a little long. It was a little long before they finally got to the product because it was, taking us through their day, like waking up. Oh God, I gotta wake up. Oh God, I gotta. Yeah, it was extremely long, but we eventually got to the product. We eventually saw the person enjoying the product. But yeah, go definitely support Huey's Shaved Ice. Also, they started in July 2018, so they've been around for quite a while. They are OGs. They're Ice OGs. All righty, moving right on along. My final business I will be highlighting today is Icy Mountain Shaved Ice. It doesn't say a lot about who started it. Like, there's no names of the purveyor other than their original people. So they advertise on Facebook, IG, and pop-up, or IG, Facebook and IG. They're actually a pop-up, which is the perfect segue to my spotlight section. So just remember the word pop-up, and you'll see where it ties into my spotlight, who I'm spotlighting today. So the name of the business again is Icy Mountain Shaved Ice. The business owners are very young. I would say they are millennials. Just judging on the pictures, it doesn't really say their journey about how they start the business, but on their pages, you can see all their functions that they have their product at. They also incorporate ice cream in their product. So I thought that's an interesting twist. I've never thought of combining the two worlds, but I guess it goes all in one place. So ice cream toppings on it. The state they're out in is Utah. So basically they're a pop-up anywhere in Utah. I guess I post on social media where they're going to be. And yeah, so that's how they give back to the community. They're originally owned and operated, and they hire original people, and they do for the community. So go support Icy Mountain Shaved Ice. Those are all my original people-owned business and on the original people-owned business section, and on to my next section, which is the spotlight section. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. All this rustling, I'm just trying to get my notes together for my next section. That's what you hear, all that rustling. Me trying to get my notes. I really am trying to get a teleprompter so everything can just be right in front of me. They're not too expensive these days. You know, we are making all these little technological advancements. So they got everything for the low online. It's just the thing about buying it online is, does it work when you get it? All right. So this is the spotlight section. In this section, I spotlight prominent original figures that use their platform to speak on the cause, speak on our issues, give back to the community. Basically people that's all about the sovereignty of the original people community to some capacity, play their part, do what they can to help out, to go above and beyond. It's usually somebody in the entertainment industry, an actor, actress, producer, director, writer, public figure, comedian, athlete. Those are the people I usually spotlight in that section. And then not for nothing, I think I kind of, made spotlighting a thing when I came on the scene doing this podcast. Because before I started doing spotlight, there was literally nobody doing spotlight sections for their content. Like nobody was giving nobody no roses in their sections, and they're giving it up to people. Basically, it wasn't nobody doing that. So, I think I started the wave of that, and I'll take it if people don't want to just come out directly and say they listen to the Narrative Podcast. I'm all right with that. I served my purpose. If I made something catch on. Because the big thing about my platform is edifying our people. That's the ultimate takeaway from the Narrative Podcast experience, is edifying and unifying our people. All right. So today I will be spotlighting Mrs. Pinky Cole of Slutty Vegan. Born Aisha Cole on December 8th in 1987, at least according to Wiki. Owner-operator of Slutty Vegan, she was raised in Baltimore, Maryland, to Jamaican parents who were Rastafarian. She attended at HBCU, Clark University to be specific. She pledged Delta Sigma, moved to LA to become an actress. She also did some more television endeavors, produced some television. In 2018, she was inspired to create a vegan restaurant, but before that, she had her own Jamaican-themed restaurant out in Harlem, New York. I forget the title of it, but again, you can just Google her name and it should pop right up in the wiki. I'm not going to just go all down at all of her accomplishments. I'm just, it's a spotlight. I'm shining the light on what I admire about her. Lost my place. Yeah, so she started the Slutty Vegan restaurant basically to satisfy her own personal cravings for vegan junk food. And, and the rest, as they say, is history. She used Instagram, to do pop-ups. She revolutionized it. I think the only other one before her to use Instagram to do pop-ups was some guys out in California called the Trap Kitchen. But once Pinky did it, she started the whole wave of people using Instagram to, do pop-up restaurants. And pop-up restaurants, the thing they got over traditional, food trucks is, their location. It's just like word of mouth personified. So it's like they got a little collective fan base. And it's like, it's like finding a hidden treasure, if that makes sense. Like, it feels really good to, get that product. You've been seeing the advertising in front of you. And her product is something you can actually halfway feel good about because it's, it's vegan, not made from animals. It's still fatty, it's still greasy. You still have to watch your portion size. But ultimately, it's an alternative for not just, if you're not at the stage where you're at the raw stage yet, where you're just eating raw fruits and veggies yet. So I guess I would say for transitioning vegans or transitioning plant-based, I just really don't like that term vegan because it's like, I don't know, it's just like, it seems fake to me. It's just like hippie granola trying to put their spin on it. It's just like, I don't eat meat. I don't eat dead animals. Like, why you gotta say vegan? I don't understand it. But anyway, she revolutionized the plant-based industry from her pop-up food truck. She started a whole line of product in stores all over the nation. She has become a multi-millionaire several times over from her products. Literally started with a dream. She just really thought of something in her mind, amalgamated something in her mind, and manifested into reality. And she didn't have any culinary skills. She didn't go to school for culinary arts. She went to school for business. She did run a restaurant at one time, but that's from watching her parents cook. Her Jamaican culture. So she was cooking. That was second nature. This was like all the way outside of the realm of her comfort level. Pardon me for the sound effect. My cord brushed up against the sound effect. And then also I want to take this time to also apologize for ad rolls. They pop up frequently during my podcast. So I can't hear them while I'm recording when they're going to pop up. It'd be great if I could, but on the audio podcast, I don't know like when the ad rolls are going to come, but apologies for the ad rolls too. So yeah, another thing I admire about her is her willingness to want to help the cause. Like a lot of people, they say they're about unity. They say they're about helping the cause, but then they want to charge an arm and a leg for webinars. They want to charge you like $3,000 or $5,000 for a webinar and give you like $30 or $40 worth of source material that may not work for you. This lady gifted the entire graduating class of her alma mater, LLCs. And for those that don't know, LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. And what that does is so what the limited liability does is it protects your personal credit. So Uncle Sam can't come after your personal credit, like your personal credit won't get messed up. And it also helps you establish business credit. So you'll get more write-offs and more deductions. So that she gave them that quintessential thing, her being a businesswoman, knowing that's what you have to run a business. It's either that or an S corp. So if you're really smart, you'll have both of them, and a trust, and a nonprofit. But you definitely need an LLC. And she wasn't feeling like ego-driven because she wasn't worried about competition. Like a lot in our community also, they won't give up the ghost because they're like, they got that slave mind ingrained in them. Like if I tell them how to do it, then that's a new competition for me. We got to get out that slave mind. If you know how to do something, put the information out there. Don't promise it'll work. Just be like, this is what I did. Like, I don't see what the problem is. Why you got to charge $8 million for a webinar? for something that may not work. And it's the same people that do it. You can set your watch to it. They'd be like, they had the webinar and then immediately they'll put, page got hacked. This is not me. But then when you do some digging, they're the ones that set the fake page up. So sometimes we are our own worst enemies, y'all. And that's real. But Pinky definitely is a real one. She's showing and proving she is an entrepreneur. Would be like an understatement to call her an entrepreneur is an understatement. But most definitely worthy of the spotlight of the Narrative Podcast this week. And I hope she keeps on moving forward and inspiring future generations to, follow in her footprints and build generational wealth. That's what we need, is generational wealth. Because a lot of us just want to get rich, but we don't want to build wealth. And wealth is how we'll win. All right, moving right on along. So we're near the end. We're on my second to the last segment, or third to the last segment, excuse me. We're on the health and wellness segment. And in the health and wellness segment, what I do here is promote the active, healthy, fit lifestyle. Because it all starts in the mind, and I just want to do my parts to help make sure my people stay healthy so that they won't be privy to this, invisible thing to shut down the nation, because we kind of are at the target of it. And how you would contract it is, having all this negative video and audio affects your subconscious and will cause your immune system to weaken, thus making you vulnerable for airborne pathogens and other, types of germs you come in contact with. So, in this section, what I'm trying to do is give you tips to keep your immune system fortified, to stay healthy, active, and fit. And I give tips about, that it's usually the health benefits of a plant, an herb, fruit or veggie, a physical exercise, and a mental exercise that you can do to, stay in peak physical form, to be operating on all cylinders and just, be pro vitality, just be healthy. Disclaimer. Now, just because you follow the healthy, active, fit lifestyle does not mean you will not become ill. Everybody gets sick. Like even plants get sick. It's just a part of nature. You're going to. Period. Don't ever listen to somebody that says that you will not. That's a part of life. You just might not feel under the weather, but you are, sick. But how healthy and active you are will determine how long you stay sick. So the better you take care of yourself, the less time you will spend ill, and the more rapid you will recover from whatever made you ill in the first place. Whereas if you do not take care of yourself, you will probably end up in the hospital on bed rest. You will probably end up taking all kinds of over-the-counter medicine and just becoming more and more ill. And it might, and usually does, turn terminally ill into a terminal illness. But again, if you put good things into your body and good things in your mind, that will speed recovery. So like when you do come up against a foreign invader in your body, it won't take too long to recuperate from it. Make sense? Hope it does. All right. So the health and wellness tip of the day is the health benefits of aloe vera. Now, aloe leaves were used in ancient Egypt and in parts of the northern and southern parts of Africa originally for original people, because we originated medicine. We're never credited with that. Now, aloe can be used topically or ingested orally. So the aloe leaf is 110% edible. Now, we want what's inside of it, the gel substance inside of the leaf, but you can also eat the outer leaf too, and it won't hurt you or harm you in the least. Just make sure you wash it off really well. Make sure it's free of any pesticides if you purchase it inside of a store. Some health benefits is natural homeopathic remedy for heartburn and acid reflux. It's good for oral hygiene, particularly the gums. Very good for the gums. So you want to bust that aloe leaf open and rub it around your gums. That'll fight the inflammation. That'll kill, bad breath. Because it's antifungal and antimicrobial, which means if you got any type of, fungus growing in your mouth or microbacteria growing in your mouth causing the odor, the aloe will help kill it. It also soothes first and second degree burns, by, destroying the inflammation at the source. So it'll draw out that inflammation from the wound of being burned. It's also good as a natural sunscreen for people melanin devoid, original people. We wouldn't need it for, sunscreen protection, but people lacking melanin would need it. Caucasian people, they would benefit immensely from using it as a sunscreen. And in women, it helps to fight breast cancer. It doesn't say how, it just says, studies have shown, recent studies have shown type deal, that it aids in breast cancer. And FYI, females are not the only ones that get breast cancer. Men get breast cancer too. And part of it, the main reason is because of all these chemicals that they put in toiletries, like your cologne, your body wash, your detergents, food that has estrogen in it, like soy, in men, which would cause man boobs. That's how men get the breast cancer. But aloe vera should help out with that. You don't have to take my word. You can do your own due diligence to study, the benefits of aloe. But I always keep aloe, on deck, and it's very easy to grow indoors if you don't, own property and can't grow outside. Super easy to grow indoors and very beneficial to have on tap, and a good, natural alternative to over-the-counter medicine, and will save you money. So you won't have to buy all that over-the-counter stuff. It's a good natural remedy. Oh, and it also helps for insect bites, like mosquito bites, flies, fleas, whatever. Okay, apologize again for the sound effect. I did not try to do that intentionally. This darn cord keeps on hitting the sound effect button today. Don't know what's up with that. And that's it for the health and wellness section. Now coming into second to my last section. This is my current event section where I deliver commentary on, anything happening directly in the Black community, or if it's a world event, things where we fit into the paradigm. If it's a world event type thing, like, where are we at in the equation? And in this section, what I do is to help control the narrative. Because a lot of times when breaking news breaks out, the people that, are covering the story will have us looking and sounding crazy. And I already told you the intention on, behind why they do that. It's 110% profitable for them to, have us looking and sounding a certain type way. So in this section, I'm basically, controlling the narrative. Now, sometimes I don't have a speaking point and I just freeball and just say what's ever on my mind and just speak randomly. But today I actually do have something on my mind that I want to discuss, a couple headlines. And again, I'm tying them into changing the narrative, or controlling the narrative rather. Just a second. I have to grab my notes, punch it up right quick. And then before I get out of here, I want to share something with you. Let me see. Okay. Before I unpack this, I want to do a couple of disclaimers. So first disclaimer I want to just put out before I dive into it. Just because a woman dresses a certain way doesn't automatically make her a whore. Just because a woman dances a certain way doesn't mean she's loose and out to get her son. And then lastly, before I dive into it, I said many times on my platform, it's all about the context. There's an appropriate time and an appropriate place for everything. Everything has an appropriate time, appropriate place, appropriate setting, appropriate conditions. But this next thing did kind of not meet any of that. And so what I'll be unpacking is Mrs. Tiara Mack twerking. So I think I already covered it, but I'll say it before I dive all the way in. Another disclaimer, I don't drag people on my platform. I don't do gossip. I don't drag people. I don't talk bad about people. I'm actually really just bringing her up, talking about what's behind her, what made her do that. That's the perspective I will be unpacking it from. Okay, so first of all, a young lady, she's not even 30 yet, so there's youth on her side. And in this day and age, what has been presented to specifically our young women is that they either have to get butt naked, butt stark naked, or, nearly naked, brief nude to, earn a livable wage. If they're to ever hope to, get a 5 or a 6-figure salary to live in a mansion or, have the finer things in life, they have to show their flesh. This is what's been, these types of images is what constantly we're bombarded with. This is what I mean. This is why I do this podcast, is to destroy these negative stereotypes about our people and our culture. The powers that be that want to keep perpetuating, the disrespect and degradation of our women. And yes, I do know hip hop is partially to blame for calling, women bitches and whores. And in the videos, when they saying bitches and whores, who do they usually have in the videos twerking to the lyrics of being called bitches and whores? You get original women doing it. You don't see like Caucasian women dancing in, an original man's rap song about women calling them bitches and whores. But, that's articism. And they're not talking about all women. They're talking about certain women. But the powers that be, again, entice the men saying, rap these lyrics and, the big house would be yours. The big car would be yours. 6-figure salary, 5-star hotels, for your entire stint in the culture of hip hop. So basically what I'm getting at is that type of behavior is being made acceptable and rewarded. So virtuous behavior, queen behavior is getting overlooked for an original woman to carry and conduct herself like a woman. And then, like I said, there's an appropriate time for an appropriate place. The style of twerking, we have several original indigenous dances with similar gyrations to twerking. Now, that particular type of twerk she was doing, she stood on her head, did a handstand, and was popping. Now, you would commonly see that in Caribbean culture. In the Jamaican, the dance hall culture, that's what they do in those Jamaican dance hall dance clubs. They do dances like that. In the Jamaican culture, they take their pants all the way off, like we seen Stella Gardner Groove back. They go topless. They take the tops off. That's a cultural thing, a cultural dance. They basically dry humping on the dance floor. So that's what we're not going to do, is act like, older generation ain't going to be like, what I'm not going to let the older generation be like, oh, back in my day, a woman had to be this, and a woman, y'all was nasty too, because my elders told me some dances that they had back in the day. They had a dance called the dog, and I think that was in the late 60s to mid 70s, where it was basically a dance where you're like performing doggy style on the dance floor. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. What I was about to say about this young lady is it's definitely contrived because she said vote for Mac after, she got done twerking. So yeah, my opinion, I believe there was somebody backing her and, promised that she would win if she did that. Because this happened on 4th of July weekend. She was in a bathing suit. She was in a thong. So, she's physically attractive. She's pretty. You can tell she exercises and takes care of herself. She's not out of shape. Her body's not disgusting. Not that makes a difference. Like I said, correct. When you hold that type of office, it's just certain things you shouldn't do. And you definitely should not be doing that. And you should definitely not be, doing that in public. So not saying you can't have a life, but when you take on those types of jobs, you sign up for it. You sign up for the scrutiny. Like, how many senators and aldermen and councilmen have been busted in hotel rooms, sleeping with prostitutes. In our community, Marion Barry, he did so much for the city of D.C., but they caught him in the hotel smoking crack cocaine. So, like, when you go before those jobs, you are under a microscope. So they hold you at a higher standard of accountability. And how is everybody's business? Because now if it would be different if you was a cam star or an adult film star, and that's what you did for a living. Because in that context, it ain't nobody's business about you twerking. If you was like an adult film industry, if you was a stripper, if you, was a cam model, a IG model, in that context, it ain't nobody's business because they got kind of, filters. If you don't want to see that, you don't have to see it. You can not interested, click the not interested button. You don't got to look at it if you don't want to. But this is a woman that got a job to specifically represent original people. This is what they want our women to look like before the entire world. This is what they want black women to be viewed as before the whole world. I don't doubt for one iota that, the powers that be that was behind that. I don't believe she just freely thought, oh, let me put this thong on and tell people to vote for me. Like, she's young, but she's not just all the way stupid. This is that kind of, fuckery. Excuse my potty language, but I didn't know any other way to describe it. This kind of subterfuge they used during the election when they employed diamond and silk, perpetuating those negative original people stereotypes. This is the kind of subterfuge they used in Biden when he had get your booties to the poll, get your booties to the poll, that ad. And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican or grassroots or conservative or a liberal or a whatever. This is what they think about our women, about our people. They hypersexualize our women. They hypercriminalize our men. It is up to all of us to deflect and, destroy these negative original people stereotypes. Like, ultimately, it's not our job to convince people that don't like original people. Like, that's not my job to convince you that I'm not a criminal, that I'm not a rapist. But it is my job to carry and conduct myself like somebody attempted to raise me. It is my job to leave the house with some degree of proper grooming about myself and, to speak with a certain diction and to show grooming. That's my job. How you perceive me after that, I don't have, I'm not responsible for that after that. So yeah, she's getting a lot of heat, as she should, but just know she shouldn't be bearing the full brunt. This is what these Democrats think of you. This is what these Democrats think of you. And then on another sidebar I want to touch on is, like, for people that just really believe in legislation and the voting process and all that, if you're going to do it, don't do it from a place of emotion, how somebody emotionally makes you feel. The only thing you should be looking at when you're going to that voting booth is what's in it for me. What's in it for my community? What is this person doing specifically for me? And we got the power to make them do something for us. But we act like it's so, that slave mentality is so ingrained, we won't make them do it. Because if you paid attention to in social studies class at all, we actually don't even have to have somebody govern over us. We can be a sovereign nation and rule ourselves. We voluntarily pay monthly bills. Like, we don't even have to pay monthly bills. But we black man, white man, Asian man, we so caught up in that, we can't even just do, unite for the greater good of the people and get what we supposed to have. Because we sitting up there letting these clowns manipulate and play games with us. And they love sticking it to us because we're the biggest threats. We threaten their livelihood the most out of all the other, ethnicities and races on the planet. We threaten their livelihood and their existence the most. And that's why they love picking on us. But so my overall thing I want to say about that, it was definitely inappropriate. I didn't appreciate how she tried to say it was black girl magic and, trying to do it for the culture. That's another little buzzword that they try to flip, these white supremacists or white insane people. To call them supreme, that's giving them too much credit. I call them white crazy people, not white supremacists, because they're not supreme. This is something, that's their wet dream coming true. It's a fetish. Did she allow herself to be used? Yes, she's a young lady. They promised her fortune and fame. That ain't no different than a rapper that turned themselves into a whore for some money. It's no different than an athlete that had turned themselves into a whore for some money. So at the bottom line, if you have integrity and just refuse to be controlled by money and tell the truth at all costs, that type of thing can never happen. So we all got to start stepping up. We all got to start being examples, brothers and sisters. We got to quit letting these clowns divide us and stand united. Black men and black women standing together. Like, it don't matter if you're in the LGBTQ community. That's not going to save you from their agenda. It don't matter if you're a feminist. That's not going to save you from their agenda. It don't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent. It's not going to save you from their agenda. The only thing that's going to save you from their agenda is our unity, period. Black men and black women standing together in solidarity. Don't matter how much money you make, Black Girl Magic, Girls Rock, none of that. That's not going to save you. Your 6-figure a year job or a 6-figure a year business, that's not going to save you. They're counting on it. That's how they want to separate you from the black man. They want to paint the black man out to be a womanizer, somebody that's going to leave you or get taken from you by the system, by getting incarcerated. So that's how they want to paint the black man. Like, what do you need him for? Go get you a white man. Or better yet, go get a woman, which you need a man for, period. But I think I've crossed over my time for as much energy as I want to spend on that. The young lady definitely was out of pocket. I did not like how, just my biggest pet peeve is when my intelligence is insulted. After somebody insults my intelligence, I lose all respect for them. And this situation was definitely insulting on so many levels. And I think we should all be done with being insulted. I think we should all be through with having these clowns insult us. Wrapping it up. So my final section of the Narrative Podcast, well, not my final, because I'm going to plug some stuff too. And I'm going to share something with you before I leave. No, I think I actually just do this, and I'll just explain what it usually is. I'm going to take a brief reprieve because I want to share something with you. So my last section is Final Thoughts. And that's where I share a pearl of wisdom. Something I got on my mind, a pearl of wisdom. Something to just challenge you to think critically about something. Something inspirational. That's what it is, usually in that section. But today, I just wanted to share something with you that I found most interesting. I do not own the rights to this, but I think it was rather interesting, and I wanted to share it with you. Let me punch this up. I do not own the rights, but I just want to share it with you. If I can get it. Well, I had the video. Let me see. Okay, well, I shared it to my Facebook, but the video is not playing. I shared it from my Instagram to my Facebook, but the video is not playing. It was from Malik Zula Shabazz Esquire's page. And basically, he was sharing the news about the arrest of Carolyn Dunham. For those that may not be familiar, this is the old white woman instrumental in the death of Emmett Till. In her role, she played, she orchestrated his death. She lied and said he raped her and had him killed. Orchestrated the whole plot. Well, it turns out she had a warrant for her arrest, and they never came got her. So now, the new Black Panther Party has stepped forward along with members of the descendants of Emmett Till, calling for her arrest for this crime. Now, I think the crime is it's a little more severe than a misdemeanor. This is actual crime. And ain't no petty misdemeanor crime. This is what she was wanted for was a felony. They're calling for her arrest. And they said if they do not arrest her, they're going to make a citizen's arrest. So, yeah. And I said on this platform several times, we got one more straw left in the broom before the camel's back breaks. It might not be this particular straw, but we got one more straw left in the broom before the camel's back breaks. And I'm going to put a pin on it right there. Thank you guys for listening to the Narrative Podcast. In case you missed my live yesterday, or not yesterday, on Thursday, excuse me, I already told you about a writing project I had finished. I'm in the process of writing an ebook. I already got a physical copy on the way. I finished it on Monday. So like 5-6 day delivery for the physical book. I have to go to another platform to write the ebook. So I don't need the actual physical copy of the book to get delivered to me. I still got the material. I just basically want the physical copy for, visualization, for people to visualize like a vision board, to make it more real to my subconscious so I can get it done. So I got that going on. I got tons of more projects. I'm asking you guys to, if you want to help me speed up the process to see all what I got going on, to download this episode of the Narrative Podcast and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast as well. Also, support my poetry blog called Halsey's Poetry Corner. It's on blogger.com at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. My tagline is Poetry with a Passion, poetry for all occasions. I write poems pretty much every day. This week, I wrote poems every single day this week, so I can say every day. But some days, the days I miss, it's usually like when my inspiration hits, it's like about 45 and I didn't post it because I try to do daily poems. So like if I finish writing it at midnight, like if it's Tuesday and I finish writing it at midnight, then it's no longer a Tuesday poem, it's Wednesday, so I missed Tuesday. So I don't do that. In those instances, I just won't post anything. I'm an artist. I can't just force my, inspiration. I write all of them off the cuff. I don't, premeditate what titles, that I'm going to name it, nothing. This is like from my mind straight to the device. That's how I write them. But they're all inspirational. They're all really, really good. I think you will like them. Please go to www.mrhalseysblogs.com and support that. And how you support it is by sharing my poems from Halsey's Poetry Corner on all platforms, on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your Dig, on your Reddit, on your whatever, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, whatever platform you have, whatever digital platform you have, share. Whatever social media platform you have, share my poem on it. And that'll help immensely. That'll help, expedite all my projects I got going on to share with you guys. Got some great stuff. So if you've been paying attention to me, you've seen the evolution, you've seen the growth. I did not have theme music when I first started. I got theme music now. I did not have a professional bumper when I first started. I got it now. I did not have a format when I first started. I have a format now. So, guests is coming. I'm going to transition from behind the mic in front of the camera. That's coming. Ain't no ceiling. It's just up and up and up. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for listening today. Halsey Allen, The Narrative Podcast, signing off. Hope you have a great rest of your day, weekend. I'll catch you next week with next weekend with a full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Wherever you get your podcast from, also just make a habit of listening to it regularly so you do not miss a live episode of the Narrative Podcast, because I don't ever know what day I'm going to go live. So if you don't want to miss any of that positive content, just listen on a regular basis. I don't know when I'm going to upload during the week. All right, so that'll do it. Thank you for listening. Halsey Allen, The Narrative Podcast, signing off. Peace, love yourself, respect yourself, love your brother, love your sister, support original people, businesses. Keep the original dollar circulating in the original community, because we are the originators of humanity.
I'm gonna set your place on fire. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, get a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit,
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.